Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Monday, August the 5th. The year is 2024. Let's talk trading. Weekly open and gap with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. Also, a friendly reminder, risk management. Always have risk management in place. Never lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade. So let's take a quick look at the weekly chart. As you can see, we have a couple of pairs where the gap didn't fill, and they're both yen pairs, the Swissy yen and the New Zealand yen. And if you look at the close open from the weekly open, the distance, you can see here the pound yen, also known as the beast, took a beating. It's down 583 pips off of that weekly open, and the dollar yen down 417, and the dollar yen is clocking it at 142.32 at the moment. And if anybody remembers from 3 weeks ago, I was saying the short up around the 160, 161 area. You might be, depending on how much you traded, you might be starting to price out some Lamborghinis, right? Okay. So for the month, the pound is down about 63 pips, 72 off the high, 84 off the low. And we are inside the body of the previous month's candle. Taking a look here at the daily, you can see we are within the opening range for the month. We're putting in the opening range for the week. We tested the opening range for the year. The high there was 127.60. We bounced down through it. Actually, we got below the opening day for the year at 127.21, all the way down to 127.10. Bounced, came back through the yearly open and back into that opening range for the month. We crossed out of the opening range for the year at 127.60. So these horizontal lines, opportunity, just have to be there to take advantage. Or 76 pips above that yearly open. Actually just turned to 75. 257 off the high, 49 off the low. That inside bar on the daily from 3 days ago, we almost got to that low, but we didn't quite make it. And once again, you can see from the previous day, we're within that candle body, and there is almost no inside bar action on the charts here, according to the dashboard. The range, every pair is over 100 pips in range. I don't think I've ever seen it like this before. Can you remember seeing it like this before, Walmal?
It's happened every once in a while, but it's very rarely. The other thing that's interesting about that, over 100, we've had 3 days in a row on the pound dollar where it's over 100. That I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, back to the good old days, right?
Exactly.
Right now, and the range of the pound yen is 711 pips. You know who has the lowest range for the day?
I know.
The pound dollar. We've got the Aussie New Zealand as 108, Euro CAD is 108. Oh no, I found one lower, Euro GBP 103 range. So I stand corrected. I didn't see that at first. But yeah, so we're second low. I mean, that's just too funny when you think about it. The pound used to be one of the biggest movers.
Yep. It's interesting. And a lot of this, is coming because of the reaction to the FOMC move last week of not moving, and then also the jobs report that came out on the weekly jobs on Thursday, and then the NFP on Friday. And there was just a big reaction to this over the weekend when people started talking, and now feeling that the U.S. is going to go into a recession potentially. That they're saying that now there's a 25% chance of the U.S. going into a recession within the next 6 months. Whether it's true or not, who knows? It's just people creating odds for the sake of creating odds. But when you have the largest economy in the world potentially going into a recession, it affects everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Looking at the buy zone here on the hourly chart, it's funny when you look at these return bars. I mean, you had this big up move on Friday where the open was at 127.41, right in the launch pad. So you draw a horizontal line, say, okay, price is going to return there. Well, look what happened, sports fans. It returned to that level, shot back up, returned back to that level, shot back. I mean, it's almost to the pip. It returned, and then, it actually went through it, but it came back, and then after the comeback candle, it just took off from there. That launch pad is just too funny. And then you can see it returned to the launch pad again, and then shot back up. But these big bars, if you just start marking the opens, and the big down bar from today, let's see, what was that? The open of that bar was 128.00. I mean, the psychological, and you can see it's crossed that line to the north a couple of times here on the H1 chart, failed to close above it, and there was just money to be made.
yes, there was.
I mean, you can call this stuff hairy hindsight, and I know there's going to be, one or two people talking about that, but, this is the stuff we see happening every day. It's just whether or not you take advantage of it. It's just like the rat zone. We put in a nice rat zone at the bottom, price shot up into the rat zone at the top, price came back down to the, green rat zone, and it's moving back up to the red rat zone. It's just this stuff happens every day.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're exactly right when you say you hairy hindsight. Yeah, you're right. It's easy to make money by looking at the charts from the past. But when you start seeing patterns that are happening on a regular basis, every day, every month, then you can start saying, okay, I need to sit down and come up with a strategy, come up with a way of dealing with this in such a way that I can make money, because that's the thing. If you see something that's happening over and over again, that means you can go and take advantage of it. And when I say over and over again, I don't mean it happens every time either. I just mean that you have an edge. What do I mean by an edge? If it happens, 60% of the time, as long as you keep your money management under control, you can make money. But you need to sit down and figure out how to go and set it up so that when you take losses, because you will take losses, they don't outmatch your wins. And secondarily, biggest thing is you got to control your brain, control your emotion, control that gray stuff between your ears, so that you're not getting out too early or getting out too late.
Yeah, and Bambino Flex indicator was showing to look for shorts. Pivot trading plan, the bias near R1 was short. I said bias near the pivot was long. In fact, we're at the pivot right now. 127, call it 84. It's 839 for you 5-digit traders. We're all 5-digit traders, but I just hate seeing that fifth decimal. And it said near S1 was long. Well, you can see here in the last 4-hour candle came down, touch S1 at 127.27 and bounced. The previous H4 candle to that one, the H4 is called 2 bars ago, it went down to the weekly S1 and bounced. So once again, just knowing these levels and looking left, you can see how profitable it can be. And the funny thing is, here's that big return bar on H4, and price went right back to that open, went through it and crossed above it. Now we've got a big H4 open from, I guess, maybe 3 trading days ago. It looks like it's at 128, call it 51. So who knows, price might go back up there and then turn right back around. Anything can happen. So we took out the daily pivot, We've taken out the weekly pivot already, and we've taken out the monthly pivot for the month of August. In and out of the upper wick zone, in and out of the lower wick zone. So once again, horizontal lines, just pick your method, wait for the setup, and there you go. So for the day and the week right now, 106 pips. We have not broken out of the previous week's high or low. Came close, within 4 pips of breaking out of that weekly low. Question is, which way is she going to go? Looking at the simple price action chart, and you could be playing the flip-flop boxes, previous H1 highs and lows or M30 highs and lows. Right now, it looks like we've there's an M30 open 127.94. We got within 4 points of it. Prices reversed off of it. So sometimes, as you like to say, Walmal, you just don't draw the line. You kind of look at the, you draw your rectangle, that area.
Exactly right. Because by drawing a rectangle, you have, I think, a better understanding of what's going to happen. And it's going to happen that way because, let's say everybody goes and says that, hey, let's say my resistance line is at the double O at 2,800. So, but the reality is, there's going to be traders who are out there thinking it's going to be at 27.95, and there are going to be other traders that are thinking that it's going to be 28.05, and that's why you get a line at 2,800. Well, draw a box from the 05 down to the 95, and that way, when it gets to that area, okay, either get out at that point in time, or you stick in it, but be ready that it may bounce off of it, or if it goes and breaks through the double O and then the 05, guess what? It's going to 25, and ride it to 25 if that's your methodology.
Yeah, and so I've got my the 3-level ZZ indicator on here, and where it'll show you some previous where the 3 balls were put in, resistance 3 or support 3. And you can see all the price action happening around those levels. It also shows the highest low. Right now we're at 27.89 highest low. And so sometimes you just have to wait for these trades, because you might be saying, oh, maybe I can jump the gun here. You could have top scraped off the 1 minute, but I usually don't top scrape off 1 minute. I usually maybe the 30s. M30s or H1s or dailies or H4s, and you can look here left. You can see it's already starting to go back down, but there was not any top scraping opportunity quite yet, meaning previous highs and lows, not candle tops and bottoms. Wow, Walmal, what happens?
You run out of time.
Just about. It's like, holy cow. And then also, one of my oldest trading methods that I really like is the previous day's midpoint. Back when I traded stocks, I used to look for that, and I just carried that over the FOREX. And you can see here we had a couple of tries on M1 to close above that 27.95. It failed. Now we're below the previous midpoint on the midpoint of the previous M1 candle, and you can see price is struggling. And I use that midpoint as a bias and as a trigger. So, fellow traders, I hope you all had a fun and safe weekend. And so far, I hope the month of August, even though we've had just a couple of trading days, I hope it's been profitable for you. And keep your eye on what's going on in the stock market, because things are crashing around the world. So make sure you got those stops in place, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.